Sandy here from Creative Scrimping Mummy. Thank you so much for joining me. So I just thought I'd come today and share kind of like answering some of my most frequently asked questions type of video regarding supplies, crafting supplies, what I use. I'll tell you why I use them as opposed to other things, and where I can, I'll mention where I get them from. So what kind of printer do I have? I have the Epson Eco Tank. I think they're fantastic. I've got the most basic model that was on the market at the time that I bought it, and I've had mine about 4-5 years. It's never let me down. Okay, I know printers are fickle. I know some people have had ones they've had to send back. I've never had a problem with mine. Mine is a Epson L3111. It's very basic. It prints, it scans, it copies. It's an A4 size standard printer, and it doesn't do, you know, I can't print from my phone, or I can't airdrop from my laptop or anything like that. It's wired direct into my PC, but that suits me because I do everything on my PC, because my PC's a custom built one with a ridiculously large memory. It's ridiculous. So I have a laptop, but I don't do any printing. I don't do any of my designing on my MacBook. I do everything on my PC. And so for the inks, I use a company called cartridgepeople.com. Now, disclaimer before we get into all of these products. I'm not saying that the products I'm sharing are the best products and that you must use them. These are just what I use after trying different things over the years. Okay, not everything that you see here is available worldwide. I am in the UK and I source as much things as I can from the UK, just because it's cheaper for postage. And also where I can, I will support small UK businesses. Okay, so if there's a product that maybe you're from America or Canada or New Zealand, and there's a product that I share, and you've got a really good alternative that's available in your country, leave a comment. Leave a comment, because your comment could help another crafter that is in your country source the best supplies. So this is what I use, and this is the cartridgepeople.com, again UK based, and this is their own brand of Epson inks. So you get a pack of 4. I don't have a black one. No, it's the yellow one I don't have. I need to order some more. So the Epson branded ones, a multi-pack at Cartridge People is £31.85. So you get 4. Their own brand, this one, is £17.90. Okay, now I will use one of these 4 packs will last me, I don't know, pushing on for 12 months. Literally pushing on for 12 months, maybe 10, it depends. And sometimes, you know, I don't use as much black as I use. My most popular colour seems to be the yellow, hence why I don't have any, etc. So sometimes I'll need to nip back and just purchase just a yellow, or just a, you know, but on average, if you to even it out, I use 1 set a year. Okay, so for £17.90, it's a no-brainer. It's really, really good value for money. Is there a massive difference between the Epson brand and this brand? I wouldn't say there's a massive difference. There might be a tiny bit of difference, okay? Same as there's difference when you, depending on what kind of paper you use, but it's minimal, okay? We're making journals and craft projects. We're not saving lives, okay? Does it matter? I'll go for the budget friendly option, thank you, so that my journals aren't costing me, you know, £50 to make. Otherwise it becomes an expensive hobby. We don't need that. Paper, I've told you my paper lots of times. I use Navigator. Again, is it the best? I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's the best for the money. It's ultra smooth, which means it's been pressed. When a paper says it's ultra smooth, it means it's been almost put through rollers to make it smooth. It flattens the fibres in the paper so it doesn't absorb as much ink, which means the ink lays closer to the top, giving you better colours and clearer images. Okay, that's what ultra smooth means. Its presentation style, it's under £5 a pack. it's good enough for me for journaling. You can get all sorts of fancy linen papers and this paper. You can get Canon's own paper or Epson's own paper, you know, but you'd be paying double the cost. So it's up to you and how your brain works. My brain tells me if there's a minute difference in quality, but it's half the price, does it matter? No, it's just journaling. Okay, it's just crafting. It doesn't matter. Okay, if it was about saving a life, then I'd go for the most expensive. All right, so I've recently started using some photo mat paper, and my daughter actually picked this, judging by the reviews on Amazon. The Navigator paper I get locally, from the supermarket. Koala, so it's double-sided. Important if you want to print on the other side that it says it's double-sided, because normally photo paper, you'd normally only print on one side of it, wouldn't you, when you're printing a photo. So this is brilliant. It's 140 GSM. It dries instantly and it works with any inkjet printer. It's fabulous for the money. It wasn't overly expensive. Again, you can get top brands, Epson, Canon, goodness knows what. You'll just be paying more for the same sort of thing. The only thing I don't like about using photo paper is if you're a bit messy with your glue, like I am, and you get glue on your fingers or on your paper and you try and wipe it away, it will take the colour off the paper because it's photo paper. So you've got to be super careful with it, okay? That you don't get glue all over it. That's that. My pokey tool. This is what I get the most comments over. My pokey tools are handmade by one of my crafty friends. I've got 2 of them. This one stays in my little tool box. I did a tutorial on this if you want to go and have a look for that video. And she made this for me. She doesn't do YouTube, so she doesn't have a tutorial. She doesn't make them to sell or anything like that. Now, I have seen other people with these round and about, so there will be tutorials on YouTube. Have a look for beaded pokey tool or beaded paper pick or whatever you call them. Okay, there's different words for them. Have a look. There will be a tutorial. I am absolutely sure. Glue. I've talked about glue till I'm blue in the face. Glue is a very personal thing. Okay, a bit like, you know, what washing powder you'll use, or whether you use Aldi beans or Heinz baked beans. It's a very personal thing. I use Collall because it's a solvent base, so it's very similar to Fabri-Tac or Beacon 3-in-1. So it's solvent based, so it dries very quickly without wrinkling the paper. It doesn't have a high water content like PVA glue, so it, again, stops it wrinkling or warping the paper. This is far cheaper than Beacon or Fabri-Tac, and it's more or less the same thing. It's just a little bit thinner. Okay, so I do dispense it into an old bottle because obviously this has got a great big nib. So I've kept my old bottles. That was a Beacon or Fabri-Tac. No, that's Beacon. And that is Collall. Can you see the difference? I think this cost me £8 or £9. And this entire bottle for 1,000 ml cost me £14 or £14.99. So there's a huge, huge difference there. And that is why I use this. Because it does the same as this, but it's cheaper. It's just thinner. But because it's thinner, with Beacon and Fabri-Tac, where it often clogs inside the bottle and you're shaking, or it's getting clogged inside the nozzle, this doesn't do that. It just doesn't do it. Don't know why, whether it's got more solvent in it, I don't know. It just doesn't do it. Okay, so magnets. I've tried to get through these fast. Magnets. I use these magnets, and I get these from a company called Spider Magnets. You could probably find them. I'm sorry about my finger. I trapped it in the door. It's quite unsightly, but I need to let the air get to it. I'll try and hide it. Spider Magnets, probably spidermagnets.co.uk or spidermagnets.com. I first found them on eBay many, many moons ago. And these are the strongest magnets. I've bought them from Amazon. I've bought them from AliExpress. I've used Basic Grey. I've used all sorts of magnets. And none of them have ever been anywhere near as strong as these. Spider magnets are fantastic. So these, the common size that I use are these, which are 0.5mm thick. I like them to be nice and thin, you see, so that you don't see them as much under the paper. So those are super thin. And they're about 10mm that way, so about 1 centimetre, okay? The only thing you need to be careful of with these is whilst they're in their, you know, stack like that, make sure that they don't bash, that you're not letting that go and letting that go on there super hard, otherwise they will break. The magnets are actually a very brittle thing, okay? They will break quite easily. If you drop them on the floor, they will break. Once they're on your project and you've got just 2 magnets, you know, closing an item, they won't break. But when they're in a big tall collection like that, because of the strength of them and the pull, they will break. So please do be careful. Keep them out of the way of children, because swallowing magnets is, and pets, swallowing magnets is super problematic. It's really dangerous. Right, what else? Bone folders. So these are your traditional bone folders. Now, it started to bother me, the idea that these are actually bone. And it may sound really stupid, but when I first started crafting, I didn't realise that bone folders were actually made out of bone. They are actually bone. Now, obviously, it's a you know, they're not going and killing animals just to make these. They're a byproduct, aren't they? They're a waste product almost of the animal industry, meat, whatever. But that being said, it still started to bother me. I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan. I'll happily tuck into a burger or a steak. That's not it, but for some reason it just bothered me. Okay, I mean, you know, I've got pets. I do love animals, but you know, I am a meat eater. But it just bothered me. Also, I find that when they start to age, they kind of seem to lose the gloss. And then, as you can see, these have got dirty and they don't come clean. And also, I use a lot of black cardstock. And when you are scoring with a bone folder on black cardstock, it leaves a shine. It makes a shiny mark. Didn't like it. So my friend Rachel Dewan over there in America sent me a set of these as a gift, and I absolutely love them. I've actually just been and bought another one of the larger ones because you can hold them in your hand and it feels nice and chunky. And these are Craft Treat, and these are Teflon. www.crafttreat.com. I found them on Amazon. Rachel found them on Amazon. Are they expensive? One of these, I used to get these from like Stampin' Up or whatever, where they're like £7 or £8 for one. I paid £9.99 for that one. And for the complete set, if you wait while they're on offer, you can get them anywhere from about £16 up to £25. You know, you've got to look for offers, or you know, on Amazon when things are at a good price. So, but that was for the set of 3, and then that on its own cost me £9.99. I didn't pay shipping because I do have Amazon Prime. I do buy things from Amazon, but where I can shop small, I will. So what did I get from? Oh yes, my tape. So this is one example of shopping small. My tape. I don't like to use glue when I'm making albums and folios because I think that the glue can make the card warp, whereas tape doesn't. But you need a good quality tape. And I've bought all sorts of tapes over the years. I've got this one. I bought loads of it from somebody on eBay. And I thought, oh, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. But the fact of the matter is, it's not fine. Because if you try making albums or folios with tape that is not really high quality, they will come undone. This would probably be all right for adding paper layers on cards. I wouldn't even put card layers on cards with this because it will just come undone. Okay, so I use the Scorpal tape, or the actual brand is Sook Wang, and I've mentioned it before, so it's SOOKWANG. Now you can from time to time find this. Well, I have previously found it on Amazon, direct from Sook Wang in China, because that's who makes it. And then they've obviously got license to distribute it to Scorpal, or Scorpal's got license from them, whichever way it works. And it's not cheap. And it's not cheap whichever way you buy it. When I've bought it direct from Sukwang on Amazon, I think I paid about the same price as I paid for this. So this is a ballpark figure of what you can expect to pay for it, £7.50. Now, if you're a person that buys, you know, 4 for a pound from craft shows for your tape, you're going to think, £7.50? Are you mad? I thought you were scrimping, mummy, not spend loads of money, mummy. But the fact of the matter is, some things you can budget on, okay? The ink's just fine. The paper is just fine. Cheaper glue. You know, I don't need to use art glitter glue at £15, £16 a bottle when I can pay £14 for nearly a litre. Well, it's 1,000 mils, that's a litre. Is that a litre? I don't know, I'm not good at measurement, volume. But there are some things where you need to pay. And tape's one of them, sadly. So £7.50 a roll, I get 3/8 of an inch, which is just under half an inch, which is always the increment that I do my score lines for pockets or adding pages together or flips. I always do a ½ inch score. So this sits nicely in there. Okay, and I got this from a company in the UK called the Mad Scrapper. So this is a little craft shop. I think they've got a bricks and mortar shop. But where I can buy from places like the Mad Scrapper rather than Amazon, I will. Because that money is going direct into somebody's family economy, isn't it? When I buy from Amazon, that's not going direct into, you know, one of the CEO's pockets so that they can afford to send the children on swimming lessons. You know, it's going to shareholders and this and that and the other. When I'm buying here, that money is going direct into their family economy to help pay for their bills, you know, and pay their mortgage or, you know, pay for their food for the children or whatever. I know I'm waffling on a bit, but I think it's really important. I also got this. Okay, they probably do it for everybody. I'm nobody special. They don't know who I am. But that is a nice touch. Thank you, Amanda, on the bottom of my receipt. You don't get that from Amazon. Okay? You don't get that from these other crafty companies, you know, where you go online and they're a big craft company and they sell all sorts of different things. But then if you go to the smaller sellers like this, I mean, they sell all sorts of different things, but they're smaller. I'm not wanting to name the bigger companies. That's why I'm beating around bush. I'm not wanting to name them. I'd rather buy from smaller people where I can. So £7.50. It's awesome stuff. I'm not even going to over-explain it. If you're buying tape, you want your mini albums to last, you'll get Scorpal tape. And you won't question it. You'll just do it. Cardstock. Oops, so I've started buying my cardstock from another small UK craft shop. I don't know if they've got a physical shop or whether they're just online, but they're called Lime Tree Craft. And they sell mostly, I think, do they only sell card? I can't remember. I got it in A3, I've got it in A4. I got a pack of each to see what it was like. I'm super impressed, really happy with the quality. So this is where I'm going to be getting it from now on. It's a shade lighter than the cardstock I was using previously, but once my project's made and the paper's on, I'm not even noticing a difference. So I am more than happy. So that is limetreecraft.com. Okay, so that's them. What else? Punches. Now this is another thing like the tape where you cannot skimp. You have to invest decent money in punches, in my opinion. Okay, somebody might come on here and say, oh well, I got a punch for 49p from Temu and it's absolutely amazing, brilliant. That's really good in them instances, but in my experience, and I've been a crafter for a long time, I've done everything from fabric crafting, card making, box making, journals, everything. Okay, these are the best punches. Stampin' Up and EK Success. I won't even waste my money buying anything else. I'd rather do without. I'm not going to give much more explanation than that, other than the mechanisms of these are all metal. I've never had a problem with a Stampin' Up punch, so long as you look. You're going to get the odd one that comes through the manufacturing process that's dodgy, and somebody will go, that were a dodgy punch, and moan about it on Facebook. You're going to get the odd thing, whatever the product, okay? In general, Stampin' Up! Punches are amazing. They're not cheap. They really aren't. But I get, you know, if you're selective what you purchase, okay, I've got all the circle punches. I don't feel the need to buy any more Stampin' Up! Punches. I've got all the circle punches. I've got the, you know, whatever else I need. I'm not into buying, you know, punches that are shaped like a hedgehog that go with one stamp. That's don't interest me at all, okay? And then this one, EK Success, okay? And again, it's not specific for a specific stamp or a specific die that I'm only going to use twice. I'll only purchase things that I'm going to use over and over and over and over, and it's the same with dies. I'll only buy generic dies now. I won't buy a die that cuts out a stamped image because I can fussy cut it. It's a waste of money to me. So that's those. What else was I going to talk about? Stamps. I have been buying some stamps, and these are fantastic. Globland. Okay, now these are off Amazon. I think Globland probably do have their own website, but I'll tend to pick a stamp set up as I'm buying something else from Amazon. I think I got this from Amazon. You know, I'll get the things that I need really fast or I can't get from small sellers. And I always have a look on Globland. And I got these little bugs. And I think I paid like £3 for it. I don't really care. If somebody's made these out of bathroom sealant. They haven't, because I've bought from Globland before and they're decent. Okay, they're decent quality. These are not a copyright infringement, okay? And, you know, they're all right. They'll do me. Rather than paying, you know, £20 or £30 for a stamp set, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll save my money for my expensive tape and my expensive punches. But if you love, you know, whatever, let me think, ultra new stamps or you're Stampin' Up! Stamps, you get what you want. I'm just saying what I do. I don't buy a lot of stamps now. You know, and same as with anything else. If you think, well, I like to buy art glitter glue at £16, £20 a bottle, that's fine. That's your choice. I'm just quite frugal in some things. Some things I'm really frugal, and then in other things, like the tape, where I know being frugal is a waste of time, then I'll buy the dearest. It's experience of knowing what I can be frugal with and what you can be expensive with, if you know what I mean. This I've started buying instead of acetate. It's thinner and it's less bulky, and that's the main reason I've started buying it. Acetate, when you're cutting it, it can blunt your blades on your trimmer. This is a lot thinner. It's a lot lighter, so it's less bulk, it's less weight. And this is Universal Inkjet Transparency Film. I bought it in the first instance to print on, because you can print on this and make the, I don't have any to hand. I was making a dupe of the Tim Holtz, is this one? You know, like where you've got the transparency sheet, but it's got colour on. I made a dupe of that using them by stamping on with stays on and then colouring it. But, you know, it's also awesome for using for your shakers or if you want windows in anything. Just got to bear in mind it's correct for your printer. Mine is 120 micron, and you've got to read. Here it says, please note you can only print with the notched corner on the top left of the film. So these have got like a rounded corner on just one corner. So that means that when you put that through your printer, that rounded corner has to be to your left or it won't print. So just read the instructions. Okay, chipboard. Here we go. So I use chipboard for my mini albums and quite often for my journals, because I like if I'm going to make something and I'm going to spend time making a project, I don't want it to fall to pieces. I don't want it to get beaten up. I don't want the cover to get all shabby and ruined. So I do like to make mine out of chipboard. The best way to buy chipboard is to buy it in bulk, not buy the sheet. Okay, and I got this from, I think I found them on Amazon, Protector File on Amazon. So these are made in the UK, protectorfile.co.uk. So these are actually made to go in folders or envelopes, you know, so that your document doesn't bend. So that's what the actual purpose of this is for. It's not actually a craft company that I've purchased it for. And often that is how you'll get things cheaper. Craft companies charge an awful lot of money for chipboard. I've seen it up to £1 a sheet, which is ridiculous. I got a box of 100 A4 sheets. I think I paid about £30. So that was working out, you know, a lot cheaper than paying £1 a sheet. Now, you might think, well, I don't want 100 sheets of chipboard, Amanda. All power to you. What you want to do is you want to try and get together with some crafty friends and share a box, you know. I need some this month. Do you want to share a box? Because you'll always get better value buying in bulk, okay? So if you've got some friends near you, or you go to a local craft group or anything like that, or a class, maybe mention it. Does anybody want to go halves on a box of this or a box of that? Not necessarily chipboard, but it works for everything. Anything you buy in bulk, you will save money on. Okay, so the other thing that I use is the, let me see if I can find it, I've put it away, the tape, the fabric tape. Okay, I'm sick of leaving links for this. So this is what I use to wrap my chipboard covers together instead of wrapping them all in a big piece of cardstock. It saves on your cardstock, it actually works out cheaper, and it's quicker, it's easier, it's less stressful, and this is super, super, super thin. It's wafer thin, okay, so you don't see there's no bulk. I first discovered this stuff by watching Paper Phenomenon and then managed to source some myself. Okay, I get it on AliExpress. I have bought it from Temu as well, and I got it for like 58p. I will say the one on Temu isn't as good quality as the one that you can get on AliExpress. The one on AliExpress is anything from, I've paid £3, that's in UK money, £3 up to about £8, okay? But it's really good stuff, and if you're making a lot of albums, it's worth the investment, okay? I know there's countries, I think it was an Australian lady that said, you know, it was coming up at $8 Australian dollars, but $8 Australian dollars is that's a lot in Australia, but in the UK, I think, I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment. It's still pretty cheap. It's still actually pretty cheap. So, and I think that one's 40mm and that one's 30mm wide. You get loads on. It's brilliant stuff, okay? Brilliant stuff. So I think that just about covers everything. If there's anything I've not mentioned that you want to know about that I use on a regular basis and you're wondering where I get it, please do ask. But there you go, those are all of my main supplies. I've waffled on. Oh, trimmers. Stampin' Up trimmer, simple for your paper. It is lightweight, okay? Obviously there's all sorts of great big, there's the tonic one that opens out, it's about this big, and it's got a great big metal bar here. A lot of people use that. Is it tonic or is it Fiskars? I don't have the space for that kind of trimmer on my desk. I don't have the space for it. Also, I've got problems with my hands. I cannot be lifting heavy trimmers on and off my desk because I'm limited for space. Okay, I use the Stampin' Up trimmer. It's fantastic. It's accurate. It cuts straight, and the blades last fairly long time. I try and only use it for paper. I try not to cut thick cardstock with it because that will make the blades go dull quicker. And for anything other than paper, I will use my Tim Holtz rotary trimmer. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with that trimmer. I'm not even going to talk about it. I love it and I hate it. I love it and I hate it. So I'm going to leave it there for now. We're not going to talk about my love-hate relationship with Tim Holtz rotary trimmer. And I hope that's answered all your questions. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.